I think one of the things I know I struggled with was uncertainty, because when I first got diagnosed, I wasn't sure when the next hit was coming. And am I going to have to give up an arm? Or is my leg going to be affected, or my eye? Like, I would play this game in my head all the time, and it didn't help. Right. And it took time for me to start kind of being like okay with uncertainty, which is actually an amazing thing if you think about it. Most humans walking on earth are not okay with uncertainty. But those of us who've kind of lived with this for a while, we're like, it's okay. We have other things in place because it helped me live more in the now. So make sure that you get family on board and to help you with decision making. This is like definitely not a one brain decision. And it's important actually to take somebody to doctor's appointments with you, so their second set of ears. I have so many patients that actually do this because I always encourage it. They're both like elderly women. They're both lost their husbands. They go to appointments for each other and they take notes. You should do that, because you're only going to retain so much of what your doctor says in an appointment. Or if your loved one can't be there, call and do a video call and have them talk to your doctor right there in the middle of the meeting. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure that you ask for all your options, and including those outside of conventional medicine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do your medications and DMTs, but what else can you squeeze out of naturopathic medicine, functional medicine, Chinese medicine? Because some people really do well with acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and that helps allay some of the symptoms that maybe Western medicine can't help. There's lots of natural products that can be helpful. So don't limit yourself just to the arsenal of conventional medicine. And as I said a little while ago, get therapy early on to help you reframe things and find your path forward faster. It will just pay off so much. And if you can't get therapy, get into a good supportive MS group, because I also get to see people make a lot of progress when we get together in groups and just talk about what's on people's minds. So that's always an option as well. I also love it when my patients, I say something to them and they go, "Do you have the data on that?" And I go, "Yes, I do." So they ask me for an article, and it's my job to back up what I say with evidence, right? So don't be afraid to ask your doctors for articles to read further, and educate yourself. Like, we shouldn't, as patients, be afraid to go into the medical literature. You may not understand the main body of the article because it's too technical, but you read the beginning and the end, and you'll get the gist of it. So this is part of just building your knowledge so that you can navigate this better. And Katie, I know you're a big proponent of therapy as well. Tell me about your perspective on that.
I am, and I had no idea that was going to be such a big part of my MS story. So I think I'll just echo what you said, that just really find a good therapist, a trauma-informed therapist to talk with. And it's really amazing. They actually turn out to be almost like a dear friend. So I have had a very, very positive experience with that. I do want to talk a little bit about mindset, because so many of us, we have this negative self-talk in our head, especially when we experience this, very life-changing experience. And I didn't also understand how important having a healthy or a growth and positive mindset would be. And, learning a lot over the last few years about, how many thoughts we have per day, over 50,000, and that 90% of those are repetitive thoughts. And of those, 80% are negative. You can tell how, when we're facing this stressful thing of an MS diagnosis, how we can rapidly spiral into a very, very negative place. And so I wish I had gone down the mindset road earlier. And so I wanted to highlight an incredible program today called Positive Intelligence, PQ, by a gentleman named Shirzad Shamim. And this actually is an app-based program that helps you change the thought pathways in your mind. And it is really, really powerful. So I'll talk about that a little bit later too, but I think just really being aware of your thoughts and when you're diving into negativity is really important early on.
Yeah, it's that awareness is where it starts, right? Just taking stock of what's happening up here. Can you shift into a place where you're less in the doom and gloom, and perhaps starting to engage in some emotions where you feel in control, in more secure, maybe even engaging in joy. It's possible. I can tell you, it comes with time and practice.